The movie Lone Survivor, Mark Luttrell, single sole survivor of Navy SEALs, top award-winning movie. This is the same spot where all that movie went down, and your company found his helmet.
Our battalion had found his helmet, and that was all.
And brought it back to him. Right,
all in the Nuristan Providence area.
Because it's all that same region.
Right, so same terrain, same area.
We pulled a clip from the movie so they can understand when these guys started going off the cliff, was this what it was like?
That's pretty good. That's pretty accurate.
So
we probably didn't look as cool as them, but we were falling off a cliff like them.
Well, this whole movie, like this right here.
Yep. That's pretty accurate.
Because it's like layers, it's tiered layers of just rocks.
Rocks and rocks.
And rocks and rocks and rocks. And, you know, I went back and tried to paint this in my mind, and it's just unbelievable. Go ahead.
So that was our best option. It was off the side of that mountain, and so I stood up, took first hit, and went down kind of where everybody else had went, and saw the biggest gaggle of soldiers I've ever seen in my life. There was just a ball of guys. When I turned that corner to kind of start traversing down the hill, there was just a big gaggle, and they're still raining down fire on us, and it broke loose, the big cluster of guys, and I kind of remember getting hit in the back again, and
so you got shot again?
Because the pile of guys was right in front of me, and as I turned that corner, they're all right there, and I can't move forward. My back's to the enemy, and took another one. I feel it. So they finally broke loose, and guys just started falling down the hill. And think about that time an RPG came in, kind of shook me a little bit. It took me a second, and I kind of recompose maybe halfway down the hill, and I found myself kind of laid back against the rock, mountains behind me, looking to the valley in front of me, and I see a soldier face down in the river, a small stream down below us, and just when it got real serious, it got real.
Yeah. It's your buddy laying there.
It's my brother laying there.
Yeah.
I didn't know who it was. I just knew it was my brother.
Yeah.
We were such a close, small unit. They were all my brothers. And we just didn't, we were close. And I didn't know who it was. I just knew he was face down. I started asking the other squad leader who was there with me. I was like, who's that? Who's that? Said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And I just see face down, shot still raining in on him. And even as he lays there dead. And kind of get my composure back together. And I go, we're trying to kind of make our way down. and find some RPGs and rounds are still coming in at us. We've got to make it down a little further. Where we are, we're still exposed. And so my saw gunner who was with me, John Albert, him and I are kind of about in the same spot. Two other guys are a little lower, kind of tucked into a rock, just maybe 15 feet kind of down and to what was my right of us. And so we're trying to make it down there. That's the best option we got at that point. So we're trying to traverse down the terrain a little bit, and it's a pretty steep rock face. There's not much vegetation in there. It's just all rock. And so we're moving along, and my saw gunner's a little bit in front of me, and he's traversing along, and he takes a round in the leg and loses his balance.
This is Albert.
This is Jonathan Albert.
Jonathan Albert.
Takes a round in the leg and starts to fall, loses balance, starts to fall down the hill. I was able to kind of grab him for a second, and holding on my left arm, just the smallest little tuft of grass, holding us two big boys and all of our gear. And we're holding on, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna have to swing you over to get him behind this cover. And he's supporting some of his weight with his good leg, and I'm trying to hold on to him, this little tuft of grass. I'd love to have that grass now. That's a good piece of grass. He was holding me up, and then he's yelling at me, and it's like the scene in the Titanic where they're like, "Just let go, Jack," and I'm like, "I'll never let go." It was so dramatic. I don't even know why he said it like that. Like I was going to anyway.
You're in the heat of battle thinking about the Titanic?
I was.
What? Just let go. I'll never let go.
And so, and then another round comes in and takes out his other leg. And
God help. He shot in both legs.
Once he couldn't hold any of his weight anymore, then I lost him, and he took a tumble. All the way until that creek bed, a little stream where my other friend's body was laying. I knew the outcome of that, so I kind of knew something had to be done.
Did you think you're dying today?
Yeah, I know I'm not coming off that mountain. But, when you know the outcome, the input's easier. I already know how this thing's turning out, so I'm going to put it all on the line. I'm good. There wasn't no way I was making it off that mountain. We were all that was it for us, all of us. And so we start, I'm going to go get my buddy. He's not going to sit out there and be a target like my other brother. We're just not going to do that. So if I'm going, we're going to get something out of this deal. And so I start making my way down. Can't just go straight, so I'm kind of traversing back and forth, and I get down into the stream with my buddy, and he's laying face up at me, and I'm straddling him. And
you done got on top of it.
Yes, sir. Poor fellow. So I'm kind of straddling over top of him. I'm kind of on one knee. He's here in front of me, and I'm trying to lay some suppressive fire while I'm putting a tourniquet on his leg. His leg's bleeding out pretty good, and kind of straddled over him like this, and trying to pay attention to like 8 different things, and my weapon jams. Scat. So at least in the Army, they have an acronym for everything. And so he yells at me, my weapon jams, and he says, "Sports!" Which is slap, pull, observe, release, tap, squeeze, right? It's an acronym. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm his boss. And he's like, "Oh, you're supposed to be doing sports right now." It's kind of what I felt like. He was like having a coaching moment in the middle of this thing. It's really frustrating. So I shot him a look, and he didn't say that anymore. And I'm like, I'm spitting into my gun, literally spitting into my gun to try to keep it firing. But they're raining down on us. They obviously can still see us. And I'm like, this is not good. So I'm firing, putting on the tourniquet, and get hit again in the shoulder. And the first one wasn't too bad. The second one, that hurt, Jack. So
your comrade said it was one of the most incredible things they'd ever witnessed. You took your helmet off and gave it to that boy, because we're talking about John Albert now, right?
So
and shielded his body with your body while holding a tourniquet, while lighting the enemy up on the hill with the firearm. They said it wasn't like anything they'd ever saw.
So we're there, and I get hit again. And I didn't really know where it was going from there, but I knew we couldn't stay there. So somewhat returning fire, and I get Jonathan Albert to hold on to my belt and kind of on all fours, just bear crawl back up to the hill.
So now you're dragging him up out of there.
He's holding on to my belt and trying to get him to push. He's a big boy. It was kind of exhausting. And I got him up to behind some tree line, a couple little trees there. And they're not shooting at us anymore, so I know he at least has some sort of cover and concealment. And so I moved back up the hill to try to help with some of the other casualties. And I look at my buddy, John Albert, and he's got a rock over his head. I knew he was hard at it, but like, a rock? Come on, man. So I gave him my helmet, and I went up to help with some of the other casualties. So we brought down the one guy who had the Forrest Gump thing. We brought him down, and then the other squad leader came down. Started to consolidate at this point.
The battle is 4.5 to 5 hours, something like that.
So I hear.
They said it was relentless, nonstop, 4.5 hours. Can you imagine?
I couldn't tell you if it was 4 seconds or 4 days. It seemed like forever, but everything happened so fast.